I'm sure you've all been there in situations like this. You release a new version of your app, you push it up to GitHub, your code pipeline runs, and you get a green deployment inside your CI/CD pipeline. Fantastic, you think everything has deployed successfully. You go off and customers hit your API, only to be seen with a message like this: internal server error. My CI/CD pipeline showed green, but my application isn't actually working. Now, you might argue you should write better test chains, you should write better integration tests, you should just do better pipelines. But there are some things that your pipeline might not catch. Configuration changes, things that you've set up incorrectly in your infrastructure as code that mean your unit or integration tests might pass, but your application isn't particularly healthy. So how do you solve that problem when you're building serverless applications in .NET? Let's find out. When it comes to comparing the serverless world with a more traditional container orchestrator, maybe you're deploying your application to Kubernetes, that world, for all its flaws and for all its crazy operational overhead, has solved this problem better. Things like blue-green deployments, canary deployments, having two instances of your container running side by side and shifting traffic from one to the other is a relatively well-solved problem when it comes to building applications on top of container orchestrators. Lambda, not quite got that solved as well as it could be, but that's what we're going to change in this video. In this video, you're going to learn how you can more safely roll out new releases to your Lambda functions using a couple of other AWS services that you might not be over familiar with. And of course, you're going to do all of that with the AWS CDK. The crux of this project is a really simple product API, an API that does CRUD operations on a set of products against a DynamoDB table. What we want to work out is how we can deploy new versions of this product API safely. And you're going to do that with the AWS CDK, my favorite way to deploy serverless applications. Just because I can write everything in .NET, and it's great. So to do this, we're going to use a couple of features of Lambda that you may have come across but not quite used with any real gusto. That is Lambda aliases and versions, as well as using AWS CodeDeploy. So the first thing you're going to do in your CDK is define your Lambda function itself. And if you're familiar with writing Lambda functions, this looks much like any Lambda function definition you might see. You've got a function, you've got a runtime, you've got a handler, memory size, timeouts, blah, 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 blah. You've also got an environment variable for the DynamoDB table name down at the bottom there. So the Lambda function definition is pretty ordinary. Then what you're going to do, though, is you're going to add an alias to your Lambda function. When you add an alias to your Lambda function, if you go and look at that Lambda function in the console, you see it under this aliases tab. This is almost like a completely separate instance of your Lambda function. If I click that prod alias, I can go and test, I can go and monitor, I can go and configure just that production alias of the Lambda function. So you could think of it like having a completely separate instance of your Lambda function, as opposed to this one here, which is otherwise known as latest. So we add our new alias of production. We're then going to create a CloudWatch alarm. When we use CodeDeploy, which is a service we'll see in just a second, you can wire CodeDeploy up to a CloudWatch alarm. If the CloudWatch alarm fires, CodeDeploy will automatically roll back. And all this CloudWatch alarm is doing is simply watching this function to see if there are any errors on the production alias. If there are more than 0 errors, the alarm will fire, the deployment will roll back. Perfect. So the final thing that ties all of this together is this idea of a pre-traffic hook. Because one of the problems, at least I've found when doing things like blue-green deployments in the past, is that if you push out a new version, maybe you're sending 10% of your traffic to that new version and 90% to the old version. What if you have no traffic at that moment in time? If there's no actual traffic hitting the function, well, you would never know if that 10% was healthy or not. So using AWS CodeDeploy allows you to use what's called a pre-traffic hook. A pre-traffic hook allows you to actually define another Lambda function that contains some logic to invoke your main production Lambda function. So this is just another .NET Lambda function. We can go and have a look at this under source, under pre-traffic hook, and have a look at the function here. This Lambda function is structured much like any other Lambda function. The handler receives this CodeDeploy lifecycle event. Remember, it's AWS CodeDeploy that's going to call your Lambda function, which then contains the logic to determine if something is healthy or not. It's going to get the ARN for the target Lambda function version, and then it's simply going to call and invoke. It's going to manually invoke this Lambda function to see how it performs. We're simply going to manually invoke this Lambda function with an example payload that is structured like an API gateway request. What we can then do is see if that Lambda function errored. If the function errored, we're going to log the actual error payload. If it succeeded, we of course want to check the actual status, because a successful completion of your Lambda function could mean that there's been a 500 internal server error inside the actual response. Or if you were processing messages from an SQS queue, the Lambda function might complete successfully, but you might have items in your batch item failures. So we also need to check exactly what is happening inside here. If there's a 200 status code, great. If there's not a 200 status code, then that's no good. Then the final thing we're going to do is make a call back to CodeDeploy. CodeDeploy is going to sit here and wait until it sees a response back from this Lambda function. So for this deployment ID, we're going to send back a status, and you'll notice here the status got set to succeeded. Initially, the status defaults to fail. So unless it makes it right down to this 200 status code, the status will still be set to failed, which means this will send a response back saying that this didn't work correctly. And remember, you could do absolutely anything inside this pre-deployment hook. You can publish messages to EventBridge. You could put an item into a DynamoDB table to test DynamoDB streams. You could do literally anything with this pre-deployment hook. So let's get back to our CDK code now. So we've defined our pre-deployment hook, and we're going to grant that pre-deployment hook permissions to call our Lambda function, of course. Then the final thing we need to do is define our actual deployment. So you do that by defining a Lambda deployment group. This Lambda deployment group comes from amazon.cdk.aws.CodeDeploy. You define the alias of the Lambda function you want to test against, what your actual deployment configuration wants to be. Here we've got 10%, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes. There's a whole bunch of options in there. You can even create custom options if you want to. Wire up any alarms, wire up our pre-traffic hook, and then we're going to actually set up how we want to roll back. So if the alarm fires or we get a failed deployment from our Lambda pre-deployment hook, that's going to automatically roll back this release. What I'm going to do to see this in action is I'm actually going to delete the product table name from that environment variable. So I'm going to delete that from there. So now this Lambda function shouldn't work because this product table name environment variable isn't being set. I'm going to go off and I'm going to commit that here. Feature, I think this release is good. I'm going to commit that, and then I'm going to push that up to GitHub. Now, of course, it will take a few seconds for my actual deployment pipeline to kick in, so I'll be back in just a moment to show you the results of that run. This is still deploying at the minute, but if you look inside the Lambda console while this deployment is running, you can see that I've now got an additional version. So I've got version 6, which is pointed at the production alias. I've now got this version 8, which was created 26 seconds ago. This is going to be the version, if I click that version there, that doesn't have, looking at my environment variables, doesn't have the table name set. So this is the version that we are wanting to release that the pre-traffic hooks are then going to run against. And just looking at our GitHub Actions pipeline now, you can see this has already started to roll back. You can see the deployment failed because one or more lifecycle event validation functions failed. Looking at our pre-traffic hook now, if we go and have a look at the logs for the deployment pre-traffic hook, remember this is the function that AWS CodeDeploy called. It was called a few minutes ago, and we can see that the pre-traffic hook threw an exception, object reference not set to an instance of an object. That, if you remember the code from our pre-traffic hook, that logged the error response that came back from our Lambda function. That object reference error is there because we didn't set that environment variable. The function in our actual application code is trying to retrieve that product table name from the environment variables, which doesn't exist, throws an object reference exception. And you can actually go and see this. If you go and look at the CodeDeploy console, you can see the various different deployments that were tried. You can see that if we look at the timing here, you had this deployment on March the 5th at 10:06 that failed. And then we had this other one here that was succeeding, which you might think is a little bit odd. This is simply just the rollback. The rollback is actually its own deployment. So it's triggered the CloudFormation stack, just rolled it back, sorted out that old version. And if I refresh my Lambda function now, version 8 has disappeared. Version 8 has disappeared because it was a bad release. It's rolled back. If we were to fix this and deploy this again, you would get version 9. So that's one such way to better control the deployments of your Lambda function. Now, this doesn't replace good unit tests, good integration tests, good things that you're doing as part of your CI/CD pipelines, but it does act as a final check. Remember, when you're doing this, you want to keep this as close to the real world as possible. Let's say you've got a Lambda function that handles 3 or 4 different types of messages. It's handling events from an Amazon Event Bridge event bus. In that scenario, you want to make sure you run a test for all 4 of them different event types. In that pre-traffic hook, maybe you start them all in parallel, collect the results, and if any of the 4 fail, you then send the message back to fail them. It is also quite possible to do this without that pre-traffic hook. If you didn't put that pre-traffic hook in place, it would simply rely on the CloudWatch alarm. So 10% of the traffic would be shifted to that new Lambda function. The CloudWatch alarm would be monitored, and if there was an increase in errors, CodeDeploy would automatically roll that back. The order of things that happens is that pre-traffic hook runs. If the pre-traffic hook completes successfully, it will then shift over to your deployment strategy, which might be Canary for 10% of traffic for 5 minutes. If there are no alarms after that period of time, then it will successfully complete the deployment. Deploy your Lambda functions safely, people. As much as we might think that people who deploy on Kubernetes are crazy for taking on that amount of operational overhead, there are definitely some things we can learn from how other software teams deploy code safely. See you in the next one.